Attention please, attention please. Can I have your attention please? Thank you very much. I hope everybody's enjoying this food today. That good? Anyway, welcome to the candidate forum put on by the 9th, 12th, 8th, and, well, I'm missing one, the 8th, 12th, 9th district, my own district. Anyway, and the 10th district, exactly. Well, I hope everybody got enough to eat, and thank you again for being here today. This is a great turnout, and so a round of applause for everybody here for the turnout. Okay. At this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Chairman Antonio Blue to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Chairman Blue.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Chairman Blue. Okay, at this time, in lieu of an invocation, we'll do a moment of silence. And at this time, during the moment of silence, take time to remember those who have gone to another place, those we've lost, and if you want to pray, feel free to pray. Thank you very much. Okay, at this time I just have a couple of announcements. The Iredell Democratic Party just wanted me to make you aware, maybe they have a new website. It's iredelldems.com, so make a note of that. Somebody also put a note down, I hope I get this right, but for the Mecklenburg County elderly or disabled property tax homestead exclusion, that needs to be applied for at the assessor's office between January 1 and June 1st of this year. So those are our announcements. I'd like to introduce our district chairs. We have chair of the, one more announcement. We have the second annual Fannie Lou Hamer Awards fundraiser dinner put on by the Mecklenburg County Democratic Party. That will be Thursday, February 19th at 6 p.m. in the Palmer Building, which is at 2601 East 7th Street. If you need questions or you want to buy tickets, you can see either Mark Friedland or Jody Friedland here after the program. So our district chairs, I want to recognize who are putting on this event. We have Dr. Robbie Ahiri, 12th District, and of course Chairman Antonio Blue from the 8th District. His first Vice Chair, Diane Little from the 8th District. We have Frank Deaton, me, from the 9th District. And Aisha Wilson representing Betsy Wells from the 10th District. Aisha, here we are. And we have my first Vice Chair, Ms. Dee Jones, who's here from the 9th. One more. Valeria Levy, first Vice Chair for the 8th District. Okay, I just at this time want to recognize all of our elected officials. If you're an elected official, will you please stand at this time so we can recognize you? Okay. Thank you very much. And if you are a state party, county party, district official, or party member, would you please rise so we can recognize you? party officials. Thank you very much. And most important, I want to take time to recognize veterans. If we have any veterans, current or past, please stand so we may recognize you. All right. I want to go over the, of course, we have our candidates here. We have Constance Johnson, Patsy Keever, Janice Covington, and Ron Sanyal. Now, I want to explain the rules. I'm getting called up in my mic. Basically, we will take questions from the floor. Okay, we will direct them between me and Dr. Geary. We're going to moderate. We will give each candidate a chance to respond to each question. Now, if there is a question that is asked specifically to one candidate, each candidate will still have a chance to respond. Okay, at the time that they actually have made their response, we will ask the person asking the question if they have a follow-up. If not, we will move on to the next question from the floor. So, and again, everybody will have a chance to answer each question, and we will select responses in a random order. Are there any questions about the rules? We got plenty of questions out here. Okay. All right, so we've already introduced our candidates. So at this time, we're going to begin opening statements from the candidates, and they will be limited at 3 minutes each, and we will begin. Herman, could you come up front for us, please, Mr. DeCastro? We have a surrogate for Mr. Adami, who's not going to be able to make it here today. Apparently, there's a family illness he's having to deal with. So I will let Mr. Herman DeCastro actually make an opening statement as a surrogate for Mr. Adami.
Good afternoon, Democrats. That doesn't sound good. Come on now. Don't we have some fire in the gut? We need to do something now. We have the economy going. We got the General Motors making cars. We got all the things that nobody said about it before the election. And now everybody's talking about. We're always good Democrats. We're only 3 weeks late, so that's okay. We'll let them have their Washington for a little bit, get it all screwed up, and then we'll come back and clean it up again. So I am over here. I was just asked to talk about Marshall. Marshall, most of you probably know because he ran for the congressional seat in the eastern part of North Carolina. He unfortunately lost. Marshall had been in the Army. He had a brilliant career. He has had held several posts, and he is very well known not on the western part of North Carolina, but in the eastern and central part of North Carolina. And his father is very ill, so he had to stay home. He's a Hispanic, and that would be something that will put a nice face on the North Carolina Democratic Party, knowing that North Carolina is the second or third state with the Hispanic population in the United States. Just in North Carolina now we have about 150,000 voters, Hispanic voters registered. So that's something to think about. That's something that is happening in this country, and this is something that, as the global warming, the Republicans say, no, it's not happening. It's not happening. There's no Hispanics. There's no African Americans. There's no Asiatics in here. Don't worry about it. We're going to keep it up. We're going to keep it on our pockets, and these guys are going to have to be working for us. Well, it's time for us to get up and say, no. It's our time now. It's time to come back and reclaim the United States of America, which is an immigration country. Thank you.
Okay, our first opening statement will be from our state first vice chair, Ms. Patsy Keeper.
Thank you very much. It's wonderful to look around the room today and see so many people that have come out on a Saturday, and I thank you, and I thank all of the districts that have arranged for us to be here today. What I would like to say to you is that I'm very excited about running as your state chair. I'm looking forward to working with people, with uniting the party. Right now we've gotten to a point where we seem to be picking at each other, and as we all know, we need to be picking at the Democrats, at the Republicans instead of each other. Yeah, so it just, one more mistake. I'm not perfect, I make mistakes, we all know that, and my friend Janice knows that I make mistakes more than anybody else. So what I want to do is lead you. What I want to do is the 4 C's. We need to have great candidates, and we do. I'm looking out and I see Jeff Johnson, who is here from your group, who is one of our up-and-coming senators, and we're so proud of you, Jeff. I said, what did I say? Jeff Johnson. See, okay, that's 2. I see you, Gilman. That's 2. Okay. Let me stick to what I came here to say. 4 C's. Candidates, we need to recruit good candidates. We need to train good candidates. We need to get candidates into our pipeline. We need counties. The 2nd C is counties. We have a 100-county strategy. We have got to empower every single county. We have got to organize every single precinct. Reverend Johnson in Iredell County sent out a message right after the election saying that if every precinct in North Carolina had gotten 13 more votes, that we would have won that Senate race. And I say to you that we can win those 13 more precincts. That's a doable goal. Let's get out and do it. How many of you think that we could get out and win 13 more votes in each precinct? Let me hear from you. Okay. That can be done. So we have candidates, we have counties that we need to work on. Capital is huge. We know that we are in a deficit right now. We know that we need to raise money. I have run for Congress twice. I raised over $1 million when I ran for Congress the first time. I have always been able to raise enough money. I think it's important for us to have that kind of prowess going into this election. We have to have the connections, another good C word, with people throughout the country and throughout the state. We need to have relationships. We need to build on those relationships. I can do that. I look forward to doing that. So collaboration would be the 4th thing. We need to collaborate with our elected officials, with our candidates, with our donors, with our volunteers, with our county leaders. This is about all of us working together. We all came in on different ships, but we're in the same boat now, and that's the most important thing for us to remember. So let's stick together, ladies and gentlemen, and I am here to ask for your vote. Thank you.
Our next opening statement will be by Janice Covington.
Wow, I don't know what to say. Looks like I'm at a family picnic. I'm a proud member of the Democratic Women's Association. Did I get that right? Yeah. Close enough. But anyway, I see a bunch of them here. And a lot of you know me, and I know you. A lot of city council, a lot of, I don't know if there's a county commissioner, but Jeff Jackson is standing back there. 39th district? 37. 37. Well, I was 2 numbers off. But, and then I have Mark here, and Rodney. I got him to hug me today for a change. But anyway, I started out in the party in 1972, and done a lot of things, working on many campaigns. 1984, I ran for county commission. Anybody from Cabarrus County in here? Yep, I ran for county commission for Cabarrus County in 1984. Sure did. But anyway, I lost to Billy Hampy, if you're familiar with him. He's a judge now. But anyway, got back in the party, decided to run for a delegate. I'm not going to go through the categories. and I got to be a delegate at the DNC. And my ideas in the party is, to tell you the truth, I'm disappointed. I'm really disappointed. The party that I loved since 1972 when I got involved has come apart. Humpty Dumpty got pushed off the wall. Now we got to put them back together. We have so many problems with so many different groups in our party that it's like they're just fractured. We got to put them back together. We got to be a family again. And we have things like we have redcoats running in areas that are unopposed. We've got to have candidates in those areas. That's terrible that we have Republicans running in areas and unopposed. We just give them a seat. Thank you. The gerrymandering, had a lot to do with it, but also, the precincts, we have 80 precincts. 195 in Mecklenburg County, we have 80 precincts organized. That's terrible. We got to step up. We got to get Tom down at the local garage to step up and organize a precinct, or Joe at the barber shop. These people have followings, and they can muster up 5 people to organize. If we could organize another 100 precincts in Mecklenburg County alone, let alone not across the state, but 100 in Mecklenburg County, that's 5 people organized, that's 500 more people involved in the party. Look at the possibilities. And, getting people to run these districts, the possibilities. And as chair, I want to bring that back and help the counties, not only the big counties, but all the little counties too.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our next opening statement will be from Ms. Constance Johnson.
Hello, everyone. Just as I told Wake, I am a North Carolina fox, not a Virginia fox. So it is so important to understand that I will never do anything, vote against myself as a woman, vote against myself as a Democrat. I will always stand by you and stand for Democrats. I will stand for our elected officials, from the presidency to our local government. I will stand by them, and you can count on that. I'm Constance Johnson, and I'm running for North Carolina Democratic Party Chair, and I want you to know a little about me. I believe that we have to start with your belief. Now, I'm a preacher. I do a little preaching, but I want you to know that it's the core understanding of where we need to be right now, because you have to see a vision and believe it to see it come to fruition. If we can't see our assembly in a blue majority, we cannot do the work to get them there. We have to see the vision, then believe it can happen, and once we believe it can happen, we'll see it achieved. So that would be my first objective, is to make sure we establish a purpose, a common purpose on where we need to go as a party, and we're all on the same page. Speaking of page, I am a publisher. I publish City Political for Mecklenburg County. And again, I wanted to bring everybody to the same page. I have a bachelor's degree from Livingstone College, a master's degree from the University of Maryland. And my whole objective has always been to bring people to understand that education is important, and getting everybody on the same page to communicate, using the same language. Not that Spanish is not going to be used, I'm saying the same understanding and the same purpose, seeing the same objective is what we need to do. We have great objectives, we have great goals, and our goals are better as Democrats. Our preferences in life, they're better, and we have to make sure that we can put them forth, not as simply marching and talking, because that is crucial. Marching and talking is crucial. But we have to put them forth as legislation to make sure they become ratified and put out here and put in order, so that we can give people good, decent lives. What is key and important is that we bring people to work for the party. We need 22 to 30 different committees to make sure every Democrat is serving on a committee, and every Democrat is recruited by one of our hard-working Democrats to be a part of this party. Right now, people are wondering, not involved, not engaged, and people want to be engaged. People want to be engaged. I got this great format from the Black Political Caucus.
Our next opening statement will be from Mr. Ron Sanyal.
Good afternoon. Could you repeat with me? Sun rises for all.
Sun rises for all.
Equally.
Equally.
And I'm going to make it 3 segments. Who am I? And what is my background? The credentials I'll not go over, everybody have, and what I can do for you. Bottom line, what I can do for you. So, my name is Ransan Yal, and when I first came to America with $7.50 to Raleigh, North Carolina, there was a brain drain. India didn't have much money, only $7.50 we got a visa. So I'm a survivor. So, I married my wife, she's a princess. I got 2 sons, Dave and Neil. They are UNCW kids, public school kids. And my wife came and got bored. She went as a temp. Today she is vice president of BB&T. So you know we are all achievers. Power to the winner. And I'm going to skip the credentials because no point in talking about credentials. What I can do for you, I want some light bulbs to come along. Do you know our money well is dry? Can you say money well is dry? Do you agree with me? Okay, then what do we need to do? We need to find new wealth, right? So I'm going to give you point blank example. We have Indian American Doctors Association and Indian American Hoteliers Association. They give, we call affectionately Patel Motel. But they have plenty of money and they give it to the Republicans. You know why? Because there are 2 Republican governors. Although we don't like them, they're Indian descent. Bobby Jindal and Nikki Haley. Most prejudiced state, South Carolina and Louisiana. And here we Democrats, we don't have any Indian to show. But if there's some Indian, so I'm that link to bring that money to the Democratic Party because we need social inclusion. The party has to be diversified, not same old, not same old establishment. We have to find new blood, new leaders. We can look to the past and learn, but we need leaders from this room, under 35, under 40, to rise up and give us the idea. You can do it. I believe you can do it. So, what I'm saying is, let us unite. Nothing is perfect. My wife said, why are you glutting for punishment? I can give you enough punishment. And I said, this one does not pay what I am doing because love of my heart and YDs and no, I'm a mentor to. Very good.
At this time, I'm going to hand the mic over to Dr. Rabia Gahiri.
Thank you, Lana. Okay, we're getting ready to get started. This is, hello? Can you talk into the mic, or should I drop the mic? Our President, Obama, did an excellent job the other night. And my Twitter feed lit up with everyone saying the President dropped the mic, and he did. So we're going to make sure, literally, we do not drop the mic. But before we get started, Frank, I'd like to just make sure everyone know that Mr. Ross and the Ramses Temple, they made everything available. So thank you, Mr. Ross. Now, my first question is to get it started, and after that, we're going to turn it over. Frank and I have done this dog and pony show before. He acts as Vanna White. He will be running around with the mic. So just so you know, he'll go back and forth between all the candidates. And so, thank you, candidates. My first question has to do with, we're now in the age of the millennials. And through the last 3 months, we've been seeing Black Lives Matter. We've been seeing a lot of things that have generated concern from young people. They may not be part of the Democratic Party. They may not be part of the Young Dems, but they're that millennial group. There have been several organized rallies throughout the state for Lemon Lacy, for Jonathan Farrell. As a chair of the Democratic Party, How do you plan to address the issues that young people out in the streets want to hear? And we can start with...
Yeah, and in fact, I just want to announce Mr. DeCastro will be serving as a surrogate for Marshall Adame. So he will answer all questions as well. And 2 minutes for responses. And we'll start with Ms. Constance Johnson.
This is a very important issue for me, and I try to hold my peace whenever I see and try to think rationally and think what is best for my brothers being killed in the streets. I know that Castle Law and Stand Your Ground has impacted these feelings that you can just shoot someone at any point. So I would first attack those laws. I would try to galvanize the legislators to create laws to prohibit or to stop Castle Doctrine and Stand Your Ground law. I would try to eradicate those laws. Number two, I would try to put forth, I think Rodney Moore is on the right track, Congressman, House Rep Moore, Representative Moore is on the right track in trying to work with the police department and putting stiffer penalties forth. But what I know needs to go forth is there cannot be any below-the-belt shooting of unarmed people, and there cannot be any pre-trial executions. And those are the two bills I would propose to the legislators. No pre-trial executions and no above-the-belt shootings of unarmed people. And I would absolutely go into the school systems to try to make sure that students are educated on laws relating to what they can and cannot do when it comes to working with police officers and helping them to understand what impact it will have trying to combat or fight or argue against police officers. And I'm hoping that all of these legislators, when we're creating these bills, would make certain that police officers are a part of those committees as consultants to hear the good and the bad, the pretty and the ugly on these issues. Thank you.
Okay, we will let Janice Covington make her response.
Well, I'm old enough to remember coming up in the days of the SDS, the Weatherman faction, and also Huey Newton, Eldridge Cleaver, of the Black Panthers. And they stood for something. They stood for change. Because like now was like then. And now we have the same situation coming up with police officers who are bullying, killing people without cause. We need to screen our police officers more. We need to give them more training. We need to educate. We need to go our legislators and have laws changed to where to protect the people. It's about the people. It's not about law enforcement. I have witnessed gangs of law enforcement piling up on somebody like Mr. Gardner in New York. That was ridiculous. He had, 5 or 6 policemen holding him down where he couldn't breathe. And they killed him. And that's what I believe. Thank you.
Mr. Herman DeCastro.
I want you to know that I have not discussed this with Marshall, but the way that we looked at it, the people who come from other parts of the world and that had a different perspective. We in the United States have an underlying problem, and that problem is poverty. Poverty, where the children do not have parents at home because they have to be holding 2 and 3 jobs so they can give them something to eat whenever they can. And the kids are not being raised as they should be. And that is the main problem that we have. We need to get the wages to be livable wages. We need to get our economy going, not for the rich, but for everybody in the country. And when that happens, and we give education, and we have a good economy, we will not have these problems. There will be the exception rather than the rule, because the police is being trained. The police is being trained. There's no question about that. And there's no, there's also certain amount of policemen that are rotten apples in the bunch, but they are the exception. And this not only happening with the African Americans, it's also happening with the Hispanics and with the Asians and also with the poor whites. This is not just an endemic situation. This is a general situation that we all had to go back and look. Before 1980, when Mr. Reagan came, saying Reagan came in here and started telling us, it's not us, it's you, it's your money, okay? So we need to spread it out, please.
Next we have Mr. Ron Sagnon.
I just wanted to tell you that my father is my hero, and he told me repeatedly that you got to respect and have mutual respect for others, because God lives within you. If you disrespect a person, you're disrespecting God. So I grew up with that thing. But again, the bottom line, I'm a bottom line person. What can you do? For last 3 years, I've talked to the judges, not Raleigh Police, and we have done some soccer program for at-risk kids. Everything is free if they stay in school, because education is our salvation. So instead of running around here and there, we engage them through soccer program, and it has been on TV, News and Observer, Castle Friendship Cup. We give them goodie bags, we teach them FIFA fair play, respect, and so I think all of us have to engage in some sort of pilot program where we can educate the kids. And two is police. Everywhere there are bad apples, in every community, everything. But cultural sensitivity is a big thing. Now we are one world, so we need to be sensitive to other cultures. And one thing my father told me, every time you get a ticket, or always address him as a sir, yes sir, no problem sir. If you're nice to the cops, chances are that you'll not get into trouble. Thank you.
We have Ms. Patsy Keeler.
Thank you. And I thought there were some very good ideas from all of the candidates here. This is a very important issue. We cannot afford to lose our young people, regardless of their color or their ethnicity. Our young people are important, and our early childhood education is the most important thing I think that we can do to improve our society. If every child has the kind of environment to live in, has parents who have a good job, it goes back to the poverty as well. We need to just work with our people. We need to provide programs, and I trust our legislators to provide those. As a state chair, I'm not going to ask you, and I'm not going to try to tell you what laws you should pass. I know that. I was in the legislature when they passed that first, as both of Beverly and Rodney were, when they passed that first Castle bill about you can carry guns everywhere. Yes, that's ridiculous, but let's raise our young people. Let's give them the public education that they need. Let's give them the jobs that they need when they get out of school. Let's support our people. This is very much an economic issue. And I would say one more thing. In Buncombe County, we have community relationships with our community police officers who go and live in the communities and build those relationships. And everything we do is really about building relationships and understanding individuals and understanding other people. So that's something we need to work on in so many ways. Thank you.
Great. At this time, we're going to the audience.
Yes, at this time we're going to begin taking questions from the floor. If you would please be respectful and raise your hands, I will get to you as soon as I can. I'm not picking anybody over anybody else, so I just want to make that clear. But I will recognize the lady here, and we will bring you the mic for your question. Please state your name if you feel free.
I'm sorry, we only have the one mic at this point.
Okay, I'm Jean Johnson from Barrows County, and I agree with everything every one of you said. Mine is a statement instead of a question. I ask each of us here today, how many of us would want our sons or our grandsons to be in law enforcement today. My heart goes out to them. When my husband was Democrat chairman of Randolph County, young men came and begged him to get to be a state patrolman, to take the test. There was a long waiting list, and he evaluated and made recommendations. Now, look how many short we are in the state of North Carolina. I beg of you and all persons involved in law enforcement, let's combine our efforts for the law enforcement just like we want to do for the Democrat Party, because they're doing a great job. Yes, they make mistakes. We all do. But it's going to take more money, more training, and I think it's one of the most important things next to education. Thank you.
Well, that was actually a statement, but I'm going to allow each of y'all to respond to that statement. Okay, the crowd says no. All right, I listen to the people, trust me. Okay, it's Tony Mingo.
Well, I keep hearing everybody talk about party unity. And there is a problem in the party. All right now. And we have auxiliaries that want to be more than the party and so forth and so on. So how will you, as the chair of the state party, unify this party?
All right, Ms. Constance Johnson, please respond.
I had started before on providing you with a structure of how we could unify better. If we model our party according to this great organization that trained me in politics, the Black Political Caucus, what they do is they provide a number of committees by which we can all participate as members. And it keeps everybody actively engaged in that particular issue. And then at the meetings, of course, we come together to discuss those issues. Well, as a party, if we have committees that are economically based, or the financial committee, the education committee, the state elected official committee, the U.S. elected official committee, the local committee, if we have different committees, everyone can be a part of, choose whatever committee that suits them, suits their interest. And once everyone is engaged, everyone be a part of a committee. All those that are a part of a particular committee, for example, the education committee, can come to the state and submit your issues of your region to the legislators who serve on certain committees or those particular committees to put forth legislation, to actually watch the legislation come to life and benefit your county, benefit your region.
Ms. Janice Covington.
I got a little confused because, got off the question. I believe the question was, how do we bring the party back together? Is that right? I got it was a little drifted off there, I think. But anyway, we have the drama. Everybody agrees, Democratic women, the county parties, we all have drama. If we can just do away with that drama and come together, and I know, and I can remember drama from way back, but I feel like there's so much drama that we're working against each other. And, I'm tired. I'm tired of being called a purple state. I'm a yellow dog. I want a blue state. And, if I'm chair, I'm going to form a committee to help me brainstorm. And I'm not going to be the boss. I'm just going to be a vote on that committee like everybody else. And we're going to come together and we're going to figure out how to do this. We're going to go to the counties and we're going to bring the people together that has problems, and we're going to sit in that room until the problem's solved. And we're going to bring us back together. That's the only thing I can do. I don't know. It's going to be up to y'all. I'm not a magician. I don't have a magic wand. But it's up to y'all to bring us back together. Thank you.
Ms. Pasakiba.
Thank you. Well, I mentioned earlier collaboration. I think that's a really important thing in building relationships. And as chair, one of the things that I want to do is get out into each of the counties and meet with all of the leaders, like I said, but I also want to meet with the leaders of all of our caucuses. We have some very important groups within our organization. And each one of those groups, whether it's the African American caucus or the women's group or the men's group or the young YDs, they all have something valuable to offer. And our job as leaders, and I don't know if this is the appropriate time for me to announce the slate that I'm working with, but I would like you to know that my first vice chair will be Zach Hawkins, who is somewhere in the room in the back. Thank you, Zach's back there. Valeria Levy as the second vice chair, and then Valeria is also here. You know her as your second vice chair of your district. And Andy Ball, who is the third vice chair. So we are already a team. We are already collaborating. We already have relationships throughout the state, and we will build on those with all of you. So it's not just us, it's everybody else. We all need to work together to build these relationships and to cut the drama.
Excuse me 1 second, can I?
No, we can't. We have to. It's America. You can hug if you want to. Not on Ron's time. We're not deducting time from Ron.
It wasn't on your time, Ron. Go ahead.
Again, I'll repeat myself. I'm the bottom line guy. I believe in doing, not giving lectures. So this will be the 6th international night. The reason we wanted to unite people from different ethnic communities, different through ethnic music, ethnic food. This will be the 6th year. That's how I unite people. 1. 2, it has spread to Mecklenburg County. I think Elizabeth did international night. Asheville, Andy Miller did international night. So this is how we bring people social inclusion. And 2, I would say communication, communication, communication. And I'll give you an example. You have seen probably the Facebook. 2 people did not talk to me for 2 years. They saw me in a restaurant and gave me a drink, and we took a selfie. If anybody has seen in the Facebook, that's what we have to do. Election is not that important. Friendship is more important to me than election. So let us love each other, and the candidates, all of us are guilty to some extent. We need to call out our dogs off the Facebook. Thank you.
Mr. DeCastro.
Thank you. I think that to unite the party, we need leadership. Leadership. We need to have a person who has had command of units, who had all kind of people under his command. And Mr. Adame has done that. And I think that by being a leader and a commander, I say, in this case, and also by knowing people in the state and by representing the face of the state, that's how we're going to need to unite the party, to give them a message that we're going to spread around from the coast to the mountains. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's come to my attention that we do have a high volume of questions here, and we are scheduled to be here till 2. We may run a little bit over. But so that we don't, and everybody gets a chance to ask a question, we're actually going to ask you to limit your responses to 1 minute. And that way we can get everybody from the floor. Okay. We'll go with Billy here.
I have a very simple question. Are each of you active in your local precincts and in your county chairs, your county groups? Are you active in those? And if not, why are you not active in your local precinct and being part of the
Mike back so they can answer. Jess.
I'm the vice chair of the 29th precinct. And we participate as much as possible. We're going to have our meeting soon. The 20th or something, February. we're going to have our meeting. And we always have meetings with food. But anyway, I do participate in the county as much as possible when they do have a general meeting. I stay in touch with Robbie some in the 12th Congressional, and I do attend all the congressional meetings. Thank you.
Ms. Constance Johnson.
I just finished running a state senatorial race. I ran against Andrew Brock in this year, 2014. So in the last 4 years, I would say I've been actively running for office. I ran for the school board in 2012, ran against 2 Republicans and a Democrat, and beat the Republican incumbent, beat the Democrat, and the Republican that won by 1%. And then I jumped in the race against Andrew Brock because I saw that he was repealing the Racial Justice Act. He was, publishing the Castle Doctrine. He was moving forward on fracking, and I had to jump in there. So for the last 4 years, I've been actively running for office, running for the state senate. And in my county, Andrew Brock had 18,000 votes. I had 11,000 votes in a 75% Republican district. Thank you so much.
Microphone always goes back to back. Ms. Patsy Keefer.
The short answer is yes. I've been active in my precinct for 42 years. A lot of that time I have been serving in public office as a Buncombe County Commissioner for 12 years, as a House member for 1 term, and I've run for Congress twice. So I have been extremely active, and I was chair of Buncombe County briefly right after my last congressional loss until I became first vice chair of the party. So I have been active at every level. Thank you.
Mr. Ron Sanyal.
Again, proof is in the pudding. If you look at my credentials, I've been active. I'm currently a precinct chair and a SEC member. I don't know for how long. And I attend all the meetings. I think whether it's in Western Asheville, I love Asheville, so I travel to Asheville. I never miss anything unless I'm in India teaching soccer to the underprivileged kids in the villages. But other than that, the YDA knows me as Uncle Ron. College Democrats of North Carolina knows me as Uncle Ron. I mentored them. Thank you.
Mr. DeCastro.
Mr. Adame had been involved with the party from the early 2000s, and he has run 2 congressional races and has been very much involved in the local party.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, well, this is always work in progress, and we've come up with an idea from Dr. Hirimi. If you would, we'd like to ask you to line up on each side and to make questions. This way, we can just knock you out back and forth. We'll go left to right, left to right.
While you're doing that, do you want any water, juice, any tea?
All right, let's start out here with Ms. Elizabeth Goodwin. Ladies and gentlemen, we're still continuing.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Goodwin. I am from Mecklenburg here. I was wondering what your plans are for fundraising. There was a recent article in the News and Observer about the state that the party is in right now as far as our finances go. And I'd like to know what your specific plans are for raising money. I think that organizing is very important, as is unity, but it doesn't mean a lot if we don't have the resources to put things in action. So what are your specific plans for that? And also, it would be nice to know what you think our priorities should be for spending the money once we have it. So it's a very detailed question, and I apologize, because now you only have 1 minute to answer.
One minute. The reason I said that we have to dig some new wells, nobody's thinking about the opportunity to bring the Indian doctors and Indian hoteliers to our family under the umbrella. Those are the 2. Plus, I'm a social guy. You can make lots of money if you have social international nights. We have spread all over the county, at least 3 counties have followed, and we have to have more social things to encourage people. Like I had a weird idea that I'll rent a soccer field free because I'm a coach. And we can have a barbecue for $10 per family. It's not the money, but we get a lot of people to come in, and then we can ask them every month if you can give some. So these are little ideas, but I'll give you in depth later.
Mr. DeCastro.
To raise money, you need to know people in the state, and you need to know the right people. By having run the congressional races, you get to know a lot of people, not only in the state, but also nationally. And you cannot, in this day and age, you cannot just think about let's fundraise in North Carolina. We need to fundraise actually nationally, and on the social Facebook, etc. And that way, I think that Mr. Adame has had this experience. So I don't think it's going to be a problem. We need to have somebody who has good connections. Thank you.
Janice Covington.
Well, first of all, if I am elected chair, I would form a committee, because I don't believe that one person can raise the money that we need. And, you know, Patsy's been charged with that, and that's a big job. If I can form this committee, and we can bring back the donors that's been run off, and have them give money again, we can build that money up. And then we can turn around and help the lesser county parties, the areas where we have candidates that are running, to where we can help finance electable people and take back the seats in Raleigh. Is that the only question?
Very nice.
Ms. Constance Johnson.
There are 2 Constance Johnsons in here, and we both serve in almost the same kind of capacity. But I want you to know that what is wrong with us right now as Democrats is the efforts are not targeted. They're not structured. We have the funds, they're just not structured. 300 times 35 is $10,500. Okay, so 100 people, 300 people selling tickets for $35 is $10,500. 2,500 tickets sold for $40 is $10 million. So we just need to target. I'm a concert promoter. I have a Scotty McQuarrie concert coming up, and it's already sold out. So it's just a matter of targeting and targeting a specific effort to make sure that all the tickets are sold. It's easy for 300 people.
Ms. Patsy Healy.
Thank you. Okay, I've already raised $1.2 million during one campaign, and mostly you raise money by knowing people and making connections, like you say, all over the country. I will do that. I know that my job as chair would be to be on the phone a lot, to be meeting with our donors a lot, and I'm perfectly willing to do that. I enjoy asking for money for other candidates. It's much better than asking for money for yourself. In the Western Gala, we raised $30,000 for our Western Gala last October. That's about the only thing that has raised money in the last 9 months in our party, except that money that we get from the Victory Fund from the DNC. So we've got to get very serious about this. People are waiting to give money to the party. They are willing to give money to the party. They want to see that we have a party that is strong, that has some leadership, that has some direction. And I think when I go in with my slate of officers, it shows right off the bat that we're working together, that we have a mission. Our mission is to elect Democrats. And I ask all of you to help us do that. Thank you, ma'am. I love the timekeeper, by the way.
Okay, let me just make this one announcement. In the interest of time, we need to make sure your questions are indeed that questions. Okay, so please refrain from making any statements. Please make an exact question for the audience or for our candidates. Thank you.
To go off of that,
Everybody here who's worked on a campaign knows that the best way to raise money is candidate call time. So I want to ask a specific question about candidate call time. What is the most money that any of you has ever raised in a day doing call time, and how much of your schedule as chair will you devote to dialing for dollars?
Ms. Janice Covington.
Oh, thank you. That was a good one, Sam. Thanks a lot. Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't spent any time dialing for dollars. That's the truth. But if I become chair, I will dedicate that to that. I will dedicate time for each one of the vice chairs, and we'll all do it together. You know, we have these dinners, and I've watched. We'll bring in Jim Hunt, for example, and he'll go around the room, and right away somebody puts the arm on him. How about some money? That's not a good tactic. Show the man a good time, call him next week, say, hey, we need a donation. That's the way to handle these donors, and that's the way I would do it. You know, you make somebody feel like they're part of something before you try to get in their pocket. Thank you.
Ms. Constance Johnson.
In my opinion, having this experience as a local candidate, calling is unrealistic for local candidates. They're brand new, they're coming out fresh. The party needs to have the funds available before the election season starts, already in place, ready to assist the local candidates. And the local candidates, state and U.S. officials, the local candidates should not suffer from pulling funds. U.S. officials should not be the sole recipients of funds from the party. They should support the local candidates and the state candidates. So I would say we have to invest time in other types of fundraising programs and activities. And that's what I do for a living. I'm the Carolina Taste. I build programs and fundraising opportunities for nonprofits, churches, and for and provide corporate contracts to small businesses. And I'm telling you, I have taken $500 and turned it into $10,000 in a week. If you need to know how much I've raised in a day, it's probably about $10,000. I've walked into meetings and walked out with $100,000.
Ms. Pasakiva.
Well, I think I've already committed to this. Raising money for political activities for a political candidate is very different from raising money for nonprofits or churches. It's not tax-deductible money, and it's just a whole different ballgame. I pledge $100,000 in pledges in the first 100 days. And one more thing I would like to say that one of the things that we need to raise money for is to have the staff for our candidates for our state. But candidates are responsible for raising their own money, and I think that most candidates in this room would agree with me. Candidates have got to spend time on the phone doing that ask. So 3 field directors that will help organize the counties. And yes, it's wonderful to have as much help as we can, but the chair's job really is to make those contacts.
Mr. Ron Simon.
To answer Sam, I'm a philanthropist. I was never asked to call time, or nobody wanted me to use as a call time. So mine is 0 Sam, but I raised money with international nights and other events. I was a passport member, so I'm a philanthropist. So I give, but I never had the opportunity because nobody even asked me to call anybody. So I'll give you the answer, honest answer, 0.
Mr. DeCastro.
I don't have the privilege of knowing that information from Marshall. I know he has raised hundreds of thousands and $1 million, but I don't know how much. Thank you.
Our next question.
Good morning, candidates. My name is Ty Turner. I'm a SEC member here in Mecklenburg County. My question focuses on the administration as well as your organization. The plan of organization does not specify each vice chair's responsibility, and normally it's up to the chair to make sure that each and every one of those individuals are given a responsibility. What plans do you have for each chair, first, second, and third, and how will you make sure that they are doing that responsibility, and are you willing to delegate responsibility needed?
Ms. Constance Johnson.
What I would do, the vice chair would be responsible under my leadership for initiating the convention and spending the full time on preparing for the convention, and also to prepare for the major events that the committees would bring forth to the state office. So those committees that are developed in those county parties for the county, for education, and the 20 some odd committees would meet. All the county representatives would meet at the state office to propose these issues before the legislators, so they can put forth those issues and resolve the issues of our communities. Right now, it's just information we're talking about, and nothing's being done and being put forth to resolve the issues of our communities. And that's how we would move forward with the vice chair.
Ms. Janice Covington.
Well, Ty, you asked about delegate. I'm a retired fire chief, and I delegated different types of jobs to firemen. And as a leader, I wouldn't be much of a leader if they didn't follow me in a house fire. As far as the jobs for the chairs, they will be assigned jobs. We will sit and talk what they're comfortable with, that they can do. They'll be assigned a job, and there'll be full accountability. That's all. Thank you.
Ms. Patsy Keeper.
Thank you. Well, as you know, I already have a team, and I would not deign to tell these people what to do. We will sit down as a team. We will decide what needs to be done. We will see who feels most comfortable and most skillful in any particular area, and we will work as a team. So there you go.
Mr. DeCastro.
This boils down to leadership and teamwork. And I think the planner organization also describes each one of the chair by chair. Not at the state level? Okay. Well, but this has to be just a team effort with good leadership, and that's how it's going to be done. That's what Mr. Adame has been doing, in just like the platoons and etc. in his experience.
Mr. Ron Sanyon.
Again, can I have the attention, please? You guys talk, I cannot answer. Discipline. I came from military background, so I like discipline. So I like structure, job description, accountability, and performance review every 3 months. If you don't meet it, then we'll have a talk. So you have to have accountability, and you have to follow the job description, and the measure of performance will be the performance review every 3 months.
Hello, my name is Keith Thompson. I'm an SEC member from Buncombe County. One of the primary roles of the state party chair will be the hiring of an executive director, to a very competent executive director who can oversee the day-to-day operations of the party and help to basically have the skill of herding cats, because that's the description for that job. Can you talk about what your vision for both overseeing and working in cooperation with an ED would be?
Ms. Patsy Keeper.
Thank you. Yes, there will be a national search. There was a very good committee that found Robert Dempsey about 2 years ago. He was an excellent executive director. He had professional experience. We will go through that same process with many of the same people that have already been into that. We do not need to reinvent the world, and reinvent the wheel. And I believe that Zach Hawkins was involved in that, and I would ask that Zach head up that effort.
Here it comes, Janice.
Well, I agree pretty much with everything that Patsy said. I don't believe in taking somebody along for the ride because they're my friend. I will seek out professional people. Thank you.
Ms. Constance Johnson.
Well, I know how important it is for us to bring someone in who can see everyone with an equal opportunity and see everyone as equal members of the Democratic Party. So I will target all of the minority communities, all of the organizations that focus on minorities. I will focus on trying to make sure we have the most qualified, capable person who understands promotions, marketing, GOTV, and have a good, viable experience in bringing and increasing and growing an organization. Thank you.
Mr. Ron Sanyal.
I respectfully disagree with all my colleagues. What I want, I feel confident politics is all local. We have enough qualified people in this room can be hired as executive director. We had a big mess with Robert Dempsey. Big mess. I don't know how much money we spent in hunting him down, but it was a disaster. We can save that money. We can save that money, and I can pick right here. I'm not going to mention the name because that will be a bribe, but I can pick one from here. So look for local. Look for local.
Mr. DeCastro.
Well, I agree that we need to have somebody from North Carolina, a good executive person, and there's plenty of them around Charlotte, Asheville, everywhere, in Raleigh, in the Triangle. So we don't need to go outside of the state to get a good political executive director that will get this party going along with the good Democratic chairman. Thank you.
Our next question. State your name.
Good afternoon. I'm Talise Y. Hunter, SEC member and Vice Chair of Precinct 138, located in County Commission District 2, the most powerful district in the county, led by County Commissioner Bill Malik. My question is, do you believe in the philosophies of the Democratic Party and why?
Ron Sanyal.
I came 40 years back, and since then I've been a lifelong Democratic Party because I came from India, and India has the most democratic value, unity in diversity. So I respect, and that's why I'm a Democrat.
Mr. Harlan DeCastro.
Hispanics come from countries that some of them, very few of them, we had democracy, but we all believe when we come to the United States that the Democratic Party is the party that really has a heart. The other party has a pocket, and we stay with the heart.
Ms. Patsy Keever.
Yes, of course I believe in the Democratic philosophy of the party. If the party is the party who helps people, that lends a hand to help lift people up, and we need to lift all people up, and we need to stay united.
Ms. Janice Covington.
Well, I grew up in the Democratic Party. My father would cuss Dwight D. Eisenhower every other day. And, you know, that's where I learned from. And my father believed that the Democratic Party was the working man's party because the Democratic Party was fair. They treated everybody the same. No one was above any other. And that's why I believe in the Democratic Party. Fairness. Thank you.
Ms. Constance Johnson.
Well, I promise you can count on this, that this is not a romantic honeymoon. I am who I am all the time and will stay this way. I will always support you. I will not woo you today in love and then after the campaign ask you, what's love got to do with it? I am going to be here with you, supporting my president. We're gonna make sure that we reinstall our president, Democratic president, and we are going to march these march these blue Democrats into these assemblies and march them into the Congress, and we will go in as a majority. That is the objective and that is the purpose. Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, we are sitting on about 20 minutes of 2. So if you're already in line, we will acknowledge your question, but we're going to have to cut it off at this time because we'll be moving into closing statements in about 10 minutes. Thank you.
I actually have a two-part question. It's actually really two separate questions. My name is April Bundy. I am a former third vice chair. I served 2 terms as third vice chair in Union County, which is one of the reddest counties in this state, and I'm sure you guys can all appreciate my frustration with that. But anyhow, my two questions are as follows. First of all, I am studying project management, and I see this as a position that really is going to need a lot of project management experience and expertise. And I want to know what each of you brings to the table on that. Second of all, in terms of party unity, this is a little bit more candidate specific. I understand that some of us have, in times past, maybe given our votes, but not endorsed the top of the ticket or the entire ticket. And I want to know, if you are serious about party unity, how can we expect for you to endorse, or how can we expect for you not to stand with the entire ticket and yet bring unity to the party? I just feel like that's important, and I feel like if the Democrats that stand with the party win, and the Democrats that run away from the party lose.
If we just take one of the questions, which one you want, the last one?
How about they answer whichever
Okay,
one they want?
all right. You can only answer one.
Mayor Baby.
Thank you.
Ms. Patsy.
I will fight for you, whoever wins.
I imagine that was directed at me, since there was a headline when I ran for Congress in 2012 that said I refused to endorse the president. Nothing could be further from the truth. If you read the entire article, you saw that I supported the president. I had the bumper stickers on my car from day one and drove all throughout a very conservative district with those bumper stickers. I am proud of our president. I have always been proud of our president.
Ms. Janice Covington.
It's very short and simple. We have a Democratic ticket from the top down, and I will support it all. Thank you.
Ms. Constance Johnson.
You can check my Facebook page. I have always supported President Obama. I always will support our highest official. Our goal is to be a campaign organization to make sure we get our most capable people in these positions, and we will do it. But I want you to know that I believe in the Democratic Party, and I know we can do it. I know we can do it. I believe we can do it. I've seen this. I've seen the vision. I know we can do it. So know that I have always supported President Obama and always supported the candidates throughout my City Political magazine effort, and always been behind you. If you look at the City Political story, you'll see that I wrote all the Democratic articles and the reporter wrote the other articles. Thank you.
Mr. DeCastro.
Very simple answer. We are the Democratic Party, and we need to be together. And if we're not together, we will not win. So just keep that in mind. You are either a Democrat or you are a renegade, and we don't need any renegades. All right? Thank you.
Mr. Ron Sanyal.
Again, from my military background, loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. You win due to Obama, and then you forget Obama. That's not loyalty. What happened to Kay Hagan is she ran and won according to Obama's coattail. Then after 6 years, she completely forgot Obama. Please don't forget where you came from. Thank you.
Our next question will come from Senator Joyce Waddell.
Thank you all for being here. My question, two of them have already been asked, but I do have another one. Many of you are running as a team, and you've already selected the team that you're going to run with. How transparent and open will you be, the others of you, in choosing your team that you run with? Because when we come to the convention, there probably won't be opportunities for others.
Mr. Herman de Castro.
At this point in time, I firmly believe that we need to be open, that we need to look at everybody and evaluate every person that can help in the team. We will have leadership, and then that leadership will produce the right people for the right positions, and that's how it's going to be.
Ms. Janice Covington.
Well, first of all, I don't have a team. I don't have a slate. What I believe in is that when we get there on February the 7th, that the SEC elects my team. I'm not going to try to pick a team. It's up to y'all to pick a good team. Thank you.
Ms. Constance Johnson.
I concur. I believe that I need to consult with the elected officials. I believe I need to consult with the county parties to put forth the people that they feel would best serve them. I would not take it upon myself to select who will represent you. I need your input to put forth the most qualified, capable leaders we have in our state. Thank you.
Mr. Ron Sanyal.
I am a lone ranger. I don't have any team. You know, soccer coach has a team. But what I feel, I'll be honest, because I speak from my heart. If it is slated, only Randy Voller is leaving. The same people are there in the Democratic Party. So what is going to change? Unless you change everything, you select first vice chair, second vice chair, third vice chair. We are in the same old scenario. And I'm being honest. And so you choose the people for us to lead. Thank you.
Ms. Patsy Keeler.
Well, clearly I disagree with several of my colleagues up here. I'm very proud to be running with the slate. I think as people look at the Democratic Party, they want to feel that there is a strong team that is in the office. We have not, yes, some of us are in office, but we have not had the opportunity to be a team. When I am in leadership, we will be a team. It will not be a one-person show. We will work with everybody. We will collaborate. And I think if you take a look at that, it's important that we can all work together. We have a diverse team in terms of gender and race and geography. We're very pleased with that. We've chosen to work together. We have chosen to work with you.
I want to introduce our next contestant, President of the Democratic Women for the Mecklenburg Democratic Party, Mrs. Jane Whitley.
Thank you. Is that because I'm the last questioner? Okay, thank you. My question is, a very brief statement. I am President of Democratic Women. As you can tell from my t-shirt, we focused on voter education this year because of taking a lot of different reasons, but taking away the straight ticket was a big issue in Mecklenburg because we are a great big blue county. And we need to make sure the top of the ticket votes for the rest of the ticket. So the blue ballot was one of the best things that I think has happened to the party in years. And I have been around for over 20 years. This worked. and a big shout out to our current executive director, Casey Mann, and her staff for putting this in place. So, how do you plan to continue the Blue Ballot program and to continue to improve it? Or if you do not plan to continue the Blue Ballot program, please tell me why.
Ms. Patsy Keeler. I'll do my spin.
I think the Blue Ballot program was great, and yes, we plan to use that again. We do need to improve it. It came out too late this year. There are a lot of counties throughout the state who are doing something very similar. I would like to see pictures on that now. When we do it, the Blue Ballot, the next time, I would like to see pictures, because I've heard from a lot of candidates how important it is to the candidates. So yes, it's very important.
Mr. Herman de Castro.
The Blue Ballot is a very important part. It needs to be refined, and it needs to be issued by each county as a voter guide, showing the screens or whatever they're using in that particular place. So when the voter goes into the booth, he can open the machine and he can compare to your Blue Ballot. It's a little bit more difficult to make, but the Hispanic voter guy in Mecklenburg, the Hispanic Democrat voter guy in Mecklenburg County has been issued for the past 15, 20 years. So it should be continued and could be refined.
Mr. Ron Sanyal.
Now I'm going to use my southern accent. If ain't broke, don't fix it. So Blue Ballot work. Let's continue with Blue Ballot.
No. Jazz Covington.
The Blue Ballot, the greatest thing since apple pie. I stood at the precinct on November, what was it, 4th or something like that. Was it November the 4th? That's, but I handed those things out, and you know, pardon?
Just what you're going to do.
Okay. I like the Blue Ballot, and it was very good. We didn't have to have people there for each candidate handing out different things. The Blue Ballot served one purpose, one person or two people. The job was done. Thank you.
Ms. Constance Johnson.
Well, you know that I'm a media person. I publish newspapers and build websites and build Facebook pages. What I would do is to make it more accessible, so that if for some reason members of our county did not receive a copy of the Blue Ballot, that we would provide it on Facebook, that we would provide it in the newspapers, that we would provide it on the website, that we would provide it in every digital format we can provide it in, emailing, to make sure that everyone can share and get this ballot out to the county. Thank you.
All right, our last contestant, Mecklenburg Democratic Party Secretary, Ms. Toria Boldware.
Good afternoon. I am Toria Boldware out of Mecklenburg County, and I just wanted to know, the POO is our governing document, and I wanted to know your familiarity with it, and if you read it through and through and feel comfortable in being able to speak on it at all.
Please recite the POO at this time. Ms. Patsy Keeler.
I've been reading the POO for a year and a half since I became the first vice chair, and I keep rereading it, and I think there need to be some changes. I think there should already have been some changes, and we need to work on that. It's you know, there's a lot of work that has been done, but there's more work, and we need to pass some of these things. We need to get at an SEC meeting and look at a piece of it, and at least get some of it passed a little bit at a time, if that's what it takes. Yes.
All right, Janice, last one. Janice Covington.
Yes, I have read all 38 pages of the plan of organization. Now, I'm not a parliamentarian, but I am familiar with it. There is some areas that need to be tweaked, but that's our our bylaws, or whatever, our plan of organization. That's what we go by. But I'm happy with it, and I understand it somewhat. But like I said, I'm not a parliamentarian. We have those kind of people. And, but like I say, it needs to be tweaked. That's all. Thanks. Why you always pick it on me? I'm not.
Ms. Constance Johnson.
Yes, I have reviewed the plan of organization, and I would add duties for the vice chair. I would give, I would make sure that the plan of organization included some level of responsibilities and duties, so that they go in knowing some of the duties they need to fulfill and knowing what they need to prepare for to fulfill those duties. And I would also add the possibility of income to the chair or some other positions who are serving as chair. Because when I spoke with some of the chairpersons, just to get an idea, they said they suffered greatly not having any means for income. And so that's what I would add to the plan of organization.
Mr. Herman de Castro.
I am sure Mr. Adame has read the plan of organization many times, as he will have read all the other things that he had to read where he was in the Army. But I want to thank everybody for coming here today, and I want to remind you that every month 55,000 Hispanics enter the voting age in the United States. And we need to have a diverse party, and we need to show that we are a party for all that has a big heart. And I would like for you to think about that whenever the election for the party chair comes. So please, let's make this the party of everybody, and let's make the party of inclusion, no exclusion. Thank you.
Mr. Ron Sanyal.
My question again is, do we have the discipline to go by the standard guidelines of POO? If we can write everything, but we need to have the discipline to respect that and follow that till it is revised. So I work with FDA and I follow guidelines till it is revised. So let's have the discipline to respect what we have now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to move into closing statements. Exactly. Let's give these candidates a round of applause. And I want everybody here to know, especially the candidates, no matter who wins, who loses, we appreciate you for trying to do what you're trying to do. Thank you. So at this time, we will have our closing statements. Limit 3 minutes. 2 minutes, I'm sorry. I'm hearing one over here. Do I hear 50? Do I hear 30 seconds? The consensus is 2. 2 minutes. No? 1 minute. All right, we got some hungry folk in here. 1 minute closing statements. Ms. Patsy Keeper.
Thank you. You've been a brave, challenging audience, to say the least. I would say to you, I didn't give you any background, but I was an 8th grade teacher for a long time. And I think that gives me a lot of skills and a lot of experience with herding cats, as it was referred to for a little while. So I bring you experience, a long-time experience in the Democratic Party, long-time experience working with public education, which I still feel personally is the most important thing that we need to ensure for our students, for our young people, for our own future. So I would ask your support for my candidacy. I thank you so much for coming here today, and I, of course, pledge my support to whoever wins. Thank you.
Ms. Constance Johnson.
Well, I always say, I love the scripture, there is no greater love expressed than to give one's life to a friend, and for a friend. And I will always serve you, whether I win or I move back into working for the community. I will always serve you. I have always awakened in the morning, the first thing I want to do is go out and do something for you. So know that if elected, I will serve to the depth of my soul and go to make sure I meet with every county and make sure that I am fully engaged in making sure all the counties are aware and all the counties are on the same page. I am a communicator, and some of my friends call me the great communicator because I keep everybody informed, just as that list that you find on your county page keeps you updated on all these events going on. That's who I am. I love keeping everyone on the same page, communicating, so we're all moving in the same direction at the same time. I will serve you with all my heart. Thank you.
For exactly 60 seconds. Impressive. Mr. Herman de Castro.
Thank you. I want to thank you for letting me represent Mr. Adame, and I want you to know that if Mr. Adame is elected, as he should be, he will be the person to unite this party and to keep everybody on his heels, as it says, because he has been doing it for a long time, and if he doesn't do it, we will be with the party from the top to the bottom. And we will be united because we need to go on to 2016 and win. And we need to get all these guys out of the where they are, where they're trying to get this country back. We need to get this country forward. We don't need to see any more bridges falling off. We need to build this country as our ancestors did it. Thank you.
Ms. Janice Covington.
I come to you with 44 years of experience in the Democratic Party. I started out in 1972 with Billy Creel for Labor Commissioner. And then I went on to move and help Bill Hefner at the 8th Congressional District. Dwight Quinn, I bet you remember him. Frank McRae. And I worked on many campaigns, building signs and planting them in the ground. And I was having a good time. Those were the days, and that's the days I want to bring back. I helped Rufus Evanston run for governor the same year I ran for county commission. I drove him around Charlotte, took him to press conferences at Charlotte Douglas, down to the Scottish Rite. Rufus would say, let's stop at the Wendy's. I said, well, we're going to eat. And he said, I'm tired of barbecue. But you know, a lot of y'all know Rufus. And, but that's where I come from. I come from the grassroots. I come from the party, and I felt part of the machine with Jim Hunt. And that's what I want to bring back to us. Thank you.
Mr. Ron Sanyal.
All that ends well is well. I believe in unity and diversity. You can see that, but the thing what we have to do is honesty. And I'm going to leave you with a food for thought. Do you want same old, or do you want to innovate and change and get a window dressing? So if, I'll be honest, you don't have to elect me, but I'll be honest. Randy Voller, there's anti-Randy group. Patsy, there are anti-Patsy group. These two forces, the foot soldiers are fighting. So another 2 years, if Patsy wins, this will go on because Randy Voller's group is going to fight. I'm clean.
Very nice. Dr. Hill, do you have anything to say before we close out?
I want to thank everyone, and I know that one of our commissioners had sent out some information, Commissioner Leak, because after all, this is her district. And Commissioner Leak, do you just want to emphasize something?
I just wanted to say thank you to all of the people who have come out today, and to see how strong we can be, if we unify. We are the strongest party in the county. We have more people registered than any other body in this county. So there's no reason that we should not be winning. I don't want any blue dog Democrats. I want yellow dog Democrats. How many yellow dog Democrats do we have? You have to be a true Democrat. You have to be a true Democrat to fulfill the duties of what the philosophy is of the Democratic Party. And we've gotten away from that. We've let people divide us. So we have to come together. We have to unify. Whatever my differences are, let's put them aside and come together. We are together. Power!
And one other thing before, thank you, Chief, this is her district. I also would like to say that we have Representative Cunningham here, who is now over all the women's group in the state, and we're very happy to have this women vote. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we discovered that we have a Verizon Motorola phone that was left outside on somebody's car, so we're going to auction this off for the Democratic Party. I hear $5. Seriously, if you think you may have lost your cell phone, it'll be... Oh, I'm going to need to see some ID. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to personally thank you for coming out on a Saturday afternoon. This proves to the world your dedication to the effort and remembering that democracy will always trump oppression. So thank you so much for coming out here. God bless you all. Hope to see you very soon.